So much effort.
If only that sound got, captured on this film. I don't know.
I can understand why you'd be tired. You've been in Las Vegas for a couple weeks.
I am on the end of 2 weeks of Las Vegas. I got here 2 Fridays ago, but there's my mom, there's my pop. I'm going to go over to see them. I'm going to try to drag them over to have one more bowl of pho before I get on a plane.
Nice. So you were at the Atlassian Team 24 event.
Yes.
Like many other people from our organization and several thousand from other organizations, but not me. So what did I miss?
Well, let me tell you.
Hi, everyone. Tim Kitzer from NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, welcoming you to The Backpack Show. Your hosts, Chris Brogan, Kerry Gorgone, Boom Shakalaka.
Backpack Show.
Nice.
This is the view from my place. That is the golf course at the Wynn. It is so weird to see a golf course in the middle of a desert. I usually get my place is usually on the side of the Sphere, which I love because the Sphere is this cool multi-billion-dollar entertainment complex that is spherical, as named, and
as advertised.
U2 played there for a few months. A couple other bands have snuck in and played, like Fish. And it's just a thing of beauty and crazy. If you go to YouTube and you just look up Las Vegas Sphere and watch the videos of what kind of stuff they do on the outside of it, it's masterful. But like you said, yes, I was at a nerdy software convention. Not nearly as fun.
I don't think they're nerdy. I think software conventions are cool.
Leslie's here. Carol's here. Yeah, we had a really good time. Yesterday's keynote was just an entertainment keynote. It was Jason Sudeikis. And then some other guy, and I forget who else.
Some other guy. Other guys like Grumble. People only care about
entertainment people. I don't care. I didn't even watch it. But
I did the same thing. They had Elizabeth Banks at I can't remember now. Had to be like Content Marketing World or something, and I just pieced out of it.
I think Elizabeth Banks would even have been slightly more interesting because at least she's built her own films, made her own stuff. She's a director and whatever and producer. She made all the Pitch Perfect movies and all that kind of stuff. Like at least I guess I'd have a little bit of interest, but I think Jason just seems like a nice guy who landed on the role that finally, popped him over the top. He's whatever. It was fine. But lots of announcements. One of the things you're going to be stunned. Ready? AI. Okay.
Okay.
But where they're going to, Rovo, ROVO is what they're calling their agent architecture. What this can do is that you can go into Rovo and say, hey, I don't know anything about the project Blueberry. And it goes and finds everything in the whole of all your Jira stuff, your Confluence stuff, and it makes a nice little gathering and says, here it is. Would you like to know about it? And here's what we got. So
Atlassian's huge and like basically team collaboration software.
Yes.
So if you're thinking, I've never heard of them and I don't care, it's big because they span, I don't know, like 200 countries or something, same thing. They have hundreds of thousands of customers they serve. So the bottom line is people pay attention to what they're doing with AI, and you're gonna start seeing other people kind of catching up with them in terms of integrating AI into their product offerings, and people will come to expect those capabilities in whichever thing they use.
Correct. You know what it's like is once everyone got an iPhone, some chunk of humans got an iPhone, every car dashboard system was suddenly not good enough. And Tesla threw basically an iPad as their dashboard, and everyone was like, oh my gosh, what have I been missing? And so it wasn't even just touch technology, it was smooth touch technology, blah, 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 blah. So it was, the being able to use agents instead of, and when I'm saying agents for a very specific reason, because where we're going next in AI isn't type a prompt, get a response. It's go do these very complicated things for me and come back. And Atlassian is very poised, given that we handle most people's troubles and issue tickets and their document knowledge management. We are in a really interesting space going forward with this particular ecosystem with that. So that was fascinating. Carol, not as fascinating as Sudeikis on SNL, but
I don't know. But yeah, it's to right now, people are trying to use AI for things like writing, which I don't feel is the best use of it because it's not great.
Right.
And we're getting to the point where people they haven't realized yet what the capabilities are. They don't realize they have a use case for it. They just go, I want to do this thing, but I can't. That's too bad. They're not really thinking the next step, which is if AI was integrated, like with our project management software, I could go, Sarah did some project last year that involved X and Y, and it was like, I don't know, between April and September. Like you have a vague recollection, and you'll be able to use natural language and can like surface the possible candidates for you.
Right.
That kind of thing people don't think about yet. But it's so much bigger than like, draft this email for me.
Yes. And for instance, I'll give you a real life example. So we have a booth set up and there's all these people coming to the booth to check in and ask questions and hear about our newest stuff. And so, for instance, this guy that I worked with in the 90s, Ty Taylor, showed up and he works now at MIT Lincoln Lab. Super cool story in between, I'll tell you, because it's like a backpack show kind of story. But Ty shows up and can you imagine just having that kind of power to be able to just type in MIT Lincoln Labs and a bunch of AI goes gurgle, gurgle and says, he's got like 4 of our apps. It would be better if he had these 2 apps because if he's got these 4, it's like weird he doesn't have this other one. And also he's had lots of trouble tickets about configuration management. Maybe we can send extra help there. So now imagine I scan his badge, I get all that, and I say, hey, Ty, good to see you. I know you've been having a little bit of trouble with that configuration management. Do you need us to set up a one-on-one? Would that be really helpful? Can I get some guys to like walk through with you? Imagine showing up to the booth and get that instead of a freaking squeezy ball and a chance to win an iPad.
Always an iPad still.
No, I mean, who knows? I don't know what people gave away. I was told at some other conference that was going on at the same time, they were giving away a Vision Pro headset and a Mustang E. And I was like, geez Louise.
My former boss was well known for having given away a Ducati at an event.
Cool.
Not this event. I know, but I was like,
former boss.
Oh, nice. I kept thinking like, what would be a cool work related thing? You could give somebody like a tiny house to turn into an office.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. So this is talk about AI for a second and what it can and can't do. Take a look at this.
Oh, like, wow.
Show us in Las Vegas. I'm like, this is terrible. It's not even the worst one, by the way.
Look like we're Entertainment Tonight, by the way.
Yeah, I know. There's so much wrong with it. It's already, but at least it has the correct number of fingers ish for me, even though the finger and thumb sort of like meld together. And even though the arm, it looks like I'm wearing a person's suit. I don't exactly know what's happening there. But if you're worrying that artists are no longer going to have work, you can stop worrying because you're safe.
And heaven forbid, like an explainer video or something, like Carol makes or something. No, like
they can take like a first pass at some stuff. It's it can do some pretty cool. Like this, you see is Vegas. Like you get it.
Yeah.
Even though you can't read anything, it's sort of like Vegas-ish. It put the most interesting stuff all squished together on like an, I don't know, island.
By the way, see this moth? Can you see that on the camera?
Yes.
That dude is 39 floors up.
He's dedicated.
He's like
they have like cliff spiders in other countries. And I was distressed to learn that they had made their way to Chicago when I stayed at the Hard Rock there one time. I was, I don't know how many stories up, and there's a bunch of spiders, like a whole community on my window. And I called the front desk and they're like, yeah, but on the outside, right? I'm like, well, yeah, but you.
Wow.
Because you're like, I'm going to go take in the view. And then you see like the circle of life playing out on a big sticky web. Yikes. Right outside your window. Yeah, it's pretty gross.
So not only did I hear some good announcements, but the one thing that's really good about this particular event, it is a super community-minded event. It is super high energy, super community-minded. And so, for instance, I met this guy, Philip. Oh, the poor guy. I must have like freaked him out. He was from Germany. We were talking about all this cool stuff, Philip Sendek. But I was enamored. Like, so we had lunch together with Simon Gatto. And I asked him all kinds of stuff. His parents, he was born, but he only spent the first few years in like East Berlin area, like East Germany part of things, not East Berlin, East Germany. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking a little bit about like how crazy that time of life was. And we have a liking of, my oldest kid, Vince, really loves German music. So I was explaining how Rammstein and some of the other bands that my kid likes. And so he sent me off with some more other ones. So there's lots of fun stuff that goes on too. They even have a big community event. What's crazy, you can barely get a moment or see the CEO, the two co-founders, like they're kind of like here, but like you're never going to get a chance to talk to them. But if you go to the community
event.
But I mean, like they do their keynote, you would think they'd be like wandering around hugging babies, but that's, they have other much more important meetings. They're talking to like their biggest customers and stuff. However, if you're part of the community event, they'll just show up and hang out with you or something. Nikki, who works on our team, made a meme kind of teasing Scott Farquhar, the co-founder, and she thought this might be the one. This might be the one that they kicked me out of the community creators group for, because it was kind of funny. It's sort of an Oprah Winfrey sort of a thing, like, oh, you get a thing and you get a thing. But they loved it. Scott shared it on the internal Slack, and then Anu, the CEO, sought out Nikki and said that was hilarious, and they took a picture together. So it's like, it's fun because they care about the community as much as they do the big expensive person.
So it's worth looking at if you're using Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, and AppFire stuff. If you're in project management, if you're in IT service management, IT ops, it touches so many different areas. So Carol just said, I've tried getting AI to help with just some early stages of our work, and even that sucked. So I have to bring one more example. This was the best of the bunch.
Oh gosh.
What I wanted, what I asked for was like a 1970s TV show style split screen of one person in Boston and one person in Las Vegas. And this is what it thought I meant. And then why the screen behind me with like a weird sort of doppelganger.
Yeah.
And you look like you're in you look like you made the Muppets, I think.
Oh my gosh. That is a graphic that AI drew. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So anyway, the event was good. The people were good. Good stuff going on. It's Reba McEntire. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
It's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But what did you take away from it? Like, what's changing for most people that they don't know is coming yet?
What I started with about the agent thing, I just got a video to watch, and I haven't started it. It's from Forbes, but it's Meta's chief AI scientist talking about autonomous AI models. This is that thing I'm getting at, which is like if I very soon, probably next year, probably not this year, very soon we'll be able to say, hey, I need a flight to Vegas to go see my parents. I want to leave this coming Thursday. I want to come back Tuesday. Done. It knows all my preferences. It has all my logins. It has my card info. It just goes and gets it. Then it says, hey, booked, handled. And that's what autonomous agents are going to do. And I'm really championing for that.
I want it to where they could also, if they're integrated with your calendar, cancel the meetings you have that would conflict with the flight and send, apologies or whatever to the people you're canceling on, or find another date that works, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Or know your preferences to the point where it's like, well, normally he likes to leave, early in the morning, but I can see on this day he has a super important meeting with this person he's marked as like a key, contact or something. So now I'm going to leave that alone and go a little bit later. Like if it could, the more it could be integrated, the more useful that would be.
Yeah. So there's a company who released something at CES that they're saying will possibly replace your phone for a lot of what you do. Everyone's like, nah, but it might be in that realm. I'm gonna pop up a little video of it playing. This is called Rabbit, and it's a little handheld. It's sort of squarish, and what's going on with this Rabbit is it's basically a prompt thing. All you can do with it is prompt. That little camera up at the top faces you or faces away, so you can say to it, "What's in front of me right now?" And it does sort of like a Google Lens sort of a thing. But then also supposedly we're going to be able to do all kinds of other things like that book flight idea and all that. So they're saying this more or less one button and a wheel kind of design is going to let us see and do the kinds of things that we want to, do in our world a much easier. So,
but you have to talk to it.
Yeah, you talk to it, but
because that's half the process. So if you notice, a lot of times, if you're in the airport or something like waiting, then you're not going to be. If everybody's talking to their device, it would drive you insane.
AirPods.
So, but still talking.
Yeah, I mean, you're still issuing your command. So yeah, I mean, okay, there are other use cases where someone will say, no, I can't use that device for this reason or something like that. But also is true is that we thought we weren't going to, I can't type on a phone that has no buttons. That's ridiculous. We're at the same spot again. That's this again.
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting to see. I know very few people who actually use the phone feature of their phone all that much.
Right.
They use it like under protest and always with notice. Like my kids will not answer the phone unless they are expecting a call, and they will always want to know why I didn't text them first.
Sure. Beyond the Rovo thing, we just got a little bit more news about really boring internal stuff like solutions type selling and that sort of stuff. So, and there's, I'm sure, all these other technology things that I didn't really know, like, now your fields can have schmiggles in them. And, I'll be like, yes, schmiggles.
Well, there was one pretty big one. And I thought, hi, Michael. And I thought it was funny. Like we're not going to have Jira work management now. Now it's going to be putting it together into just Jira with Jira software, I think is what they said. And I was like, well, why not just mash the whole thing together and be like Johnfluence or Kira or whatever? Like take all your main products and just slash them together. Like a big TV VCR all-in-one combo. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a smart idea. There was the other announcement too, that they opened up all their educational programming, that you don't have to pay for it or whatever. It's all completely unlocked. Just come get it. And that was kind of cool.
Well, that's really smart. I mean, that's kind of the way it should be. It sort of sucks to set yourself up and be like, come get certified in our stuff. And also we want you to pay to get certified and using our stuff and helping other people use our stuff, because that all drives revenue for you anyway. Obviously, no one's taking it just for kicks. Like they're taking it because they already use your stuff and teach others to do it. So
right.
Makes sense is what I'm saying.
I get it. I'm with you.
So any more sessions? That's over now. Any more meetings?
Now that is a good question. There's nothing else done. I am just very lucky that I'm here so I can go and see my parents a little bit more. I spent a week with them before, and I'm going to go back over that way and hang out with my mom and my dad, and then probably, like I said, drag them to a Vietnamese place called Pho Quien Long and have a delicious bowl of pho, the noodles and the steamy stuff and a couple of vegetables floating around somewhere in there. It'll be delightful.
Well, then I feel like we're keeping you from your parents. I don't want to do that.
No, it's all good. I mean, I've got a couple more minutes of the show. I've got to call back the old boss man who I just told can't talk now. Got to do the backpack show. That was awkward.
Well, yes, I agree. But I am not there, so I couldn't get the scoop. I mean, you can actually register for Atlassian Team 24 for free if you're at all interested in any of this, and check out the sessions yourself, including the 90-minute keynote that I hear was actually worth it if you're into the Atlassian ecosystem, Jira, Confluence, and that sort of thing.
Yeah. That's the thing. So and then
yes.
I have a red-eye flight back, so I'll be I boarded at like 9-something p.m. Vegas time, so that's almost towards 1 a.m. Boston time.
So this is a pretty big event, like thousands of people. Yeah. Any masks anywhere? Like what's the situation out there?
That's a really good question. I saw maybe a total of 2 masks. One was on a person who is wheelchair bound and possibly not in a great shape themselves, and another one on one guy, Southeast Asian, and that was it. And I was just sort of like, well, all right. So no, it is practically tongue kissing distance of all these people now. It's all like, wow. Hey, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Well, I only asked because one of my neighbors has COVID right now. So I was like, oh, maybe May 2024. It's just people, you would never know that it had even been a thing any place that I go. So I wondered if big events have any like awareness of it whatsoever, or if we're just back to buffets again.
The
Like
answer is no.
no awareness.
So I think it's I think we're doomed to have it for a lot longer. Plus, there's all these new strains. So even if you have conquered it once before, it'll be a thing.
Yep.
That's
Good
all
to
that-
know.
that's all
And
I got
I have
for
to
you.
ask about the weather. I know it's
Oh, it is 69.
nice.
I have 89. I have 89. I heard it was gray over there, right? It's like
It was, but now it's sort of picking up. I think it's going to burn off soon
got it.
because it's pretty bright. And when I was outside earlier, it was 50. Now it's up to 53.
Woo!
Woo! They
Yeah.
have. I appreciate the feels like temperature. Today it's only 52. It's like the difference is minor. But there's times in the winter where it'll be like, oh, it's 32 out, but it feels like 15. Like
Right.
what? I'm not going out there. So yeah,
Absolutely. Well,
no, it's great.
Oh, and here's our person of the day. Kaboom!
Well, we had a regular hold conversation with Carol. So Carol, you win. No one else came feeling like chatting. Leslie,
Go
just
buy
doing it.
yourself an apple. Oh, while you were gone, Cider
Yeah.
Hill Farm that we visited
Yeah.
pre-opening earlier for the backpack show is now
Yeah.
open.
Cider. Oh, that'll be great.
They have tulips and all the good stuff, donuts, all the
Apple
things.
cider donuts.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm totally ready to go. But not with you. You sound sick.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just a little stuffy from it's desert, right? So there's all kinds of particulate matter here and
Yeah.
hotel environment. I haven't gone outdoors in 3 days because it's the
No,
desert.
because you're indoors with like 4 of your closest friends. It must be allergies.
Yeah, it's something.
Mhm.
So it was definitely a trip, but now
It sounds like it.
So look,
I'm
there I am in
only a
Vegas.
little bit jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
How funny was that thing?
That's pretty funny.
Did your grandmother ever go to Vegas?
That's a really good question. I asked my dad that question, and he said there's a little bit of a story behind it.